Today's race, we are in Casse-Pattes, and to say this race hurt would be an understatement. Let's get into it. This is part of the Project Echelon Racing League. We're in week number 3. This is a look at the course. It's basically pan flat besides a climb at the end. So this is saying to me that the group is going to stay together till we get on that climb. Again, looking at it pan flat until you hit that climb. There's one little uphill section at an aqueduct, but probably nothing is going to happen there. This is just my thoughts before the race, especially as the race gets started. I'm thinking we're going to stay all together till we hit that climb. Something is going to break up on that climb, and then we're going to go down the descent, sprint to the finish. So I'm thinking a reduced bunch sprint is probably what is going to happen on this course. Probably nothing big is going to happen in the first lap since we're doing it twice. But maybe, so you just want to be prepared. Something could happen at the aqueduct section because it's a little bit of a riser. Again, these are just my thoughts going into the race as we are starting, as we are feeling everybody out. So this was a very normal start. Nobody did anything wild or weird. We're all staying together. Again, this is signaling to me that we're going to stay together. So this is 2 minutes, 30 seconds into the race. Somebody is off the front by a couple seconds. And this is really key because now I get to see what is the group going to do when someone goes off the front. And this group was very motivated to shut that down. So this guy is going to get caught within, a couple seconds here. And again, this is signaling to me that this group is ready to put in the work on the flats, but that might be different on the climb. So again, you need to start thinking about these things and seeing what the pack is doing. They're motivated to shut things down, which tells me I should not go off the front on a flat section. Here we're 9 minutes in, and again, we have 2 people off the front. It's another chance for me to see how is the peloton going to deal with people going off of the front. Also, these people going off the front, what kind of power are they putting out? Which is really nice about Zwift, that you can look on the side and see exactly what kind of power they are doing. So again, the group is going to be motivated here to shut down these people going off the front. And they do get caught within like a minute or two. Again, it's showing me don't put in the effort to go off the front. Only go off the front if other people are going, if you're like the 5th person to go with a group or something like that. But you don't want to be the first, you don't want to be the second, probably not the 3rd or 4th. Like you want to be in the catch group and then maybe bounce from the catch group. By bounce, I mean go off the front. Now this did surprise me. This guy, C. Naven, he went off the front here at 12 minutes. And I was like, there's no shot this guy is going to make it because it's already happened twice that the group shut it down. For some reason, they let him go. Now, Naven put in a big effort. He was over 4 watts a kilogram for this effort, I believe. He's at 6 seconds right now. Like, we're 14 minutes in the race. He's got 6 seconds on us. But I'm really not worried. I know we have that big climb at the end, and this is really key. Don't get too jumpy in Zwift races. I've had it too many times where I'm like, oh my gosh, that guy's 6 seconds off the front. I got to close that down. And then I close it down, I burn a match, and I bring the whole peloton with me. So if that guy's going to go out front, he's going to have to put in a massive effort because we got a big climb at the end. And so I know that there's a pretty dang good shot he is not going anywhere, and he's not going to win the race solo. Okay, that's how Zwift works. That's how racing works. So don't get too jumpy in these situations. Spoiler alert, we will catch him, but it will take a while. So kudos on him. He put in a big effort. So we're coming up to the first aqueduct section here. Now this is a little bit of a riser. I think it reaches like 5%. And again, I don't think anything's going to happen here, but I want to be towards the front just in case something happens. Okay, just in case something happens. I'm not trying to get in a breakaway. I'm not trying to do any of that. I'm just here watching. You don't want to be at the very back in case something happens and you're going to have to put in a bigger effort. I'm starting to move towards the back and I don't like that. So I put in a little bit of a surge, 500 watts. It's not too much, just to stay up towards the front. That's all I'm trying to do here. Stay up towards the front just in case something happens. Nothing is happening here. I am not worried, but I'm just watchful here. Again, you're starting to see names pop to the front. Who's kind of at the front all the times? Who's maybe towards the back? Start to figure out who maybe the top players are of the day. Try to feel out people's legs. It's a lot easier to do when you are riding outdoors than it is in Zwift, but at least in Zwift, you get to see people's power numbers at all times, which is wildly helpful. So Naven is still off the front here. That guy's still off the front. After this little roller, we're going to hit a little bit of a downhill section. We're all going to regroup. This is not going to get strung out. And we're going to keep going towards that big climb at the end. Remember to fuel also. Like, I put down a lot of carbs in this race, and it was so helpful because this was a little bit over an hour-long race. Like, this was a long Zwift race. So we are getting to the base of the climb, and some people in the chat, which was pretty funny, was like, all right, my race is over here. See you guys. Like, have a great rest of your ride. Like, that was pretty funny in the middle of a race, just to see people being like, all right, peace, because I ain't making it through this one. So we are coming to the base of the climb here. We still have not caught Naven, which he is 25 seconds up. So again, kudos on him. And I was a little bit nervous at this point, like, man, this guy's 25 seconds up in his Zwift race. That's a big gap. But we got this climb. It's like a 5-minute climb. And I know he's probably not going to outclimb all of us, because that's kind of how Zwift works to a degree, is like, it's not a steep enough climb for a solo effort. And we're going to get a lot of drafting on this climb from the group. So we're going to speed this up and just walk through the first part of the climb. Now, Naven's lead is starting to come down. And we're starting to see him on the mini map. And even at some of these corners, we're starting to see him. So my goal on this climb is just to stay towards the front. I know I'm probably one of the top people in this race at this effort on this style of climb. So I just want to be towards the front in case anything happens. Again, I'm not trying to lead the pack. I'm not trying to put out a huge effort. Like, my watts are staying in a manageable range. I'm not going too hard, but I'm not going too soft. I just want to be towards the front because this group is probably going to split. There's going to be a break somewhere. And if you look in the mini map, top right, we're starting to get splits in the peloton, which is great. It's exactly what I want. I want to reduce that peloton, but I want to be more towards the front of that. Now, we catch Naven there. So he's all back with us, and we are going to go down the descent here. And in Zwift, it's very important to get those micro rests in. So I didn't go too hard on the climb there. I just stayed towards the front, and then I want to be in the back here, and I'm going to shut it down, go to 0 watts when I can, and try to get in that aero tuck position, or just, I'm just resting with those 0 watts. So that's a really key point. You want to hydrate, you want to fuel, you want to wipe any sweat away. Like, get to 0. I put up 0 on the screen because I went to 0. And that is so key in Zwift racing because it's hard to get these little breaks. Getting breaks are a lot easier outdoors. It's a lot easier to coast throughout the race. Zwift is really hard to. So when you can, go to 0, shut it down. I'm looking at the side too. A bunch of other people are going to 0. So we're now on the second lap here. We're almost 50 minutes into this race. And after that first lap, I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be just kind of chill till we get back to the climb. Well, people wanted to put in a little effort here, and some people are hitting 9 watts a kilogram, and they are burning it up, which I didn't think was going to happen. So they put in a little surge here. Just, like, nothing happened with this surge, but it hurt the legs a little bit. Like, it hurt everybody's legs here, and it shows how well motivated the whole group is to continue racing 50 minutes into this race. So everybody comes back. This surge does nothing other than just kind of scare everybody a little bit. Like, it was a little bit scary. I was a little bit nervous. Nobody's off the front at this point. We're coming up to the aqueduct for the second time. Again, I just want to be prepared. And what I'm trying to do by showing this is that you should be prepared in races with these little risers, because you never know what could happen. Somebody could blast off the front at this little spot and get a little bit of a gap with a riser like this. So I am just being cautious, staying towards the front of the bunch, not going too hard, but not going too soft. You don't want to fall off the group at this point because it can be very tough to get back on if you fall off the group at this point. And something kind of did start to happen here. Like, some guys started putting in some big efforts. I started looking at the side there, and there was like 5 watts a kilogram, 6 watts a kilogram, and I was like, oh, maybe somebody's doing something, maybe. Nothing happened, but I was just there at the front. And again, this guy's gonna kind of go off the front here, but we got a little descent after this, and everybody's gonna try to rest on that descent if they can. So this is just signaling to me everybody wants to do it on the climb. Like, that's where this is going to come to. Like, it's going to come to the climb, and that's what I'm preparing for. Now, I was slightly wrong in that assessment. I thought we were going to get bigger splits on the climb, but we'll talk about that here in a second as the climb comes up. Again, everyone's just going to regroup here. I'm trying to get a little bit of a rest on this downhill. There's not much resting to be happening, but if you can, just get a little bit. That's all you need in Zwift. Refuel a little bit because I'm not going to get dropped. Everybody's kind of together. We're getting a good draft. Throw that bottle away. So now we are on the climb for the second time, and there's 2 guys off the front. Naven is off the front again. This is a 2-man break. Again, I'm not worried about it because this is a 5-minute climb. Like, it's not that hard to catch people on 5-minute climbs, especially when they've put in big efforts. Like, he's put in a lot of big efforts, but I'm thinking somebody else is going to go off of the front. That's my thought here. I think like we're going to get a reduced bunch sprint. There's going to be 5, maybe 10 of us that we are going to get over this climb. And that's what I'm prepared for. I know that I'm good in this situation and that I'm just not going to get dropped like that. I'm not going to get dropped. I'm not good enough to win the race off of this move, but I'm not going to get dropped. So I just want to stay towards the front and wait for somebody to go. That's all I'm doing. And that guy goes. That's what I'm waiting for. I want somebody to go. And we easily catch those 2 guys up front, and we get some guys to come with us. Now this is where I think the peloton is going to break up, and this is the race winning move. So the peloton is getting strung out. I'm looking at that mini map to see what the rest of the peloton is doing, and we are forming a little group. This is exactly what I want, because now I can rest on the downhill section that is coming up here, and then hopefully sprint for a win in a reduced bunch sprint. If it's a big sprint, I am not going to win it. There's guys who are way better sprinters than me in this field. So we are coming to the top of the hill. We're getting close to it, and this is hurting. Like, trust me, this is hurting. So we're cresting over the top here, and we're going to the downhill. So now I need to start to recover as best as possible, and I need to see what the damage is. I think we have like 10 of us in this group now, which is good. I think this is good for me. This is what I want. This is what I think is going to come to the finish line. So we're all going to rest. Like, that is what we are going to do. And that would be the smart thing to do right here, is rest. Now, guys behind us had a different thought. So we are in this group of maybe 10, and now I start to see in the mini map that we're like halfway down this hill, and oh crap, there is a big group hurtling towards us. Now, when you see a big group coming towards you, I'm going to start picking up my speed because I'm like, oh crap, they will come through and blow by us if we don't pick up our speed. So I pick up my speed expecting them to come through so that I can for sure hitch onto them. If you don't pick up your speed when you see a big group coming through, you probably will get dropped. Now, when this happens, I say, oh crap, because this sucks. We now have more people to sprint against. They are coming with heavy speed. That means that they are super motivated, and I can't win this race for sure. Like, at this point, there's too many guys in this, too many big sprinters that came back on the climb. I am not winning this, so I'm just going to try to do my best as possible. Now, somebody is actually off the front here, and I did not know this during the race. Unfortunately, I did not see them go off the front. I didn't even know when it happened. I watched the replay afterwards and saw somebody go off the front, which sucks. So we're all racing for second place, and I really don't think anybody knows it. Like, he got off the front, and nobody knew it. Like, it was a nice sneaky attack. So we're coming into the sprint here, and I'm too far in front of the peloton here. I want to be behind the peloton getting a draft. I'm hitting 350 watts towards the end of the race, which is bad. So this is bad positioning on my part. I want to get back, but we got 0.2 miles. Like, it's tough to get back, and people are opening up their sprint here and pushing it. So it wasn't the best spot for me to be in. I knew I couldn't win this race anyways, but I'm still going to try to throw it down and see what happens, because you just never know in Zwift. Like, somebody could, pull you to the finish line. You just never know. So I put out a decent sprint. It hurt though. Oh man, did it hurt. And so I came in, I think 12th place, which again was fine, but what I should have done is attacked harder over that hill. That would have been the best bet. So please like and subscribe this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. It really helps the channel grow if you like and subscribe. Thanks.